A major university president steps down, one fast food giant finds itself at the bottom of the rankings, and a new survey stirs up debate about America's most patriotic state. Plus, a top NBA draft pick has a rocky start with his new team, and Amazon makes a big move into small town America. And here's your trivia question of the day: what vegetable did Roman soldiers eat before battle for bravery? I'll have the answer for you at the end of the show. It's Sunday, June 29th, and this is the Flyover Podcast. Welcome to the Flyover Podcast, taking you above the noise for an unbiased, high-altitude view of today's headlines with daily coverage that's honest and refreshing. Let's cruise the news and land the facts. Hey there, happy Sunday. I'm your weekend host, Amy Hess. Thanks for joining me here on the Flyover, your no-spin shortcut to the biggest stories happening across the country and around the world. All right, can you guys believe June is almost over? This summer has been flying by. Hoping that heat dome lets up soon so we can all really enjoy what's left of it. Of course, whether you're sweating it out or savoring a cool breeze, here's hoping you're in the perfect spot to soak up some summer fun. All right, let's jump right in and get ready for takeoff. First up, the president of the University of Virginia, James E. Ryan, stepped down Friday under pressure from the Trump administration over the school's diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. The Justice Department said Ryan failed to fully dismantle DEI programs and misrepresented what steps were taken. The administration has pushed many colleges, including Columbia and the University of Michigan, to scale back similar programs nationwide. The DOJ says Ryan did not comply with an executive order that directs public universities to remove what it calls, quote, discriminatory DEI policies. In a letter to the UVA community, Ryan said he couldn't justify fighting the federal government just to keep his own job, warning it could hurt employees, researchers, and students through loss of funding or visas. A university spokesperson also emphasized that UVA is committed to following federal law and protecting its mission of research and education. Next, KFC has come in last in a new ranking of restaurant reviews. An analysis on crypto exchange site ChicksX of more than 7 million TripAdvisor reviews across 244 food chains gave KFC an average score of just under 3 out of 5. The Louisville-based chicken chain has more than 4,000 locations in the U.S. McDonald's ranked second to last, followed by Burger King. At the top of the list were Andy's Frozen Custard, Great Harvest Bread Company, and The Melting Pot. And finally, a new survey ranked Virginia as the most patriotic state in America. Montana, Vermont, Colorado, and Oregon rounded out the top 5. The survey looked at things like military service, voter turnout, civics education, and jury participation. Arkansas landed at the bottom with the lowest voter turnout in the 2024 election, and New York ranked second to last. All right, let's take a look at what's happening in the world of finance. First up, President Trump said Friday that he will not appoint anyone as chair of the Federal Reserve who won't lower interest rates. Current chair Jerome Powell's term ends in May 2026. President Trump has expressed frustration with Powell for not lowering rates since he returned to office. Powell, for his part, has said he wants to see more data and is concerned that tariff policies could contribute to higher inflation if cuts happen too soon. The Trump administration has said they have 3 or 4 potential candidates in mind and would make a decision soon. Next, General Motors is recalling nearly 62,500 Chevrolet Silverado pickups from model years 2019 to 2025 due to a brake pressure sensor that could allow brake fluid to leak and come in contact with electrical components, potentially causing a fire. The automaker will begin notifying affected owners with an initial letter in late July, followed by another one once a repair is available. Finally, Nike's stock soared 17% on Friday after CEO Elliott Hill said the company is past the worst of its slump and expects results to improve. New product launches and strong partnerships helped boost investor confidence, and HSBC upgraded Nike to a buy rating for the first time in 3.5 years. Thank you to our sponsor, Native Path Collagen. Are you ready to move easily and independently without pain or stiffness holding you back? Do you want to look in the mirror and see a plump, hydrated glow instead of more fine lines and wrinkles? Discover Native Path Collagen, made with only type 1 and 3 collagen fibers, the two most important types that make up 90% of the collagen in your body. Found in your cartilage, bones, skin, hair, nails, and gut, types 1 and 3 provide maximum benefits without the need for unnecessary fillers. Native Path Collagen is a single ingredient formula with no fillers, additives, or artificial sweeteners. Plus, it's third-party tested for heavy metals, ensuring purity and safety. Completely flavorless, Native Path Collagen can be added to anything: coffee, smoothies, soups, you name it. Its peptide formula makes it more bioavailable, meaning it's absorbed more easily and mixes perfectly without clumping. And the best part? Native Path offers amazing bundle deals. With this special link, you can get 3 or 6 packs at a fraction of the price you'd pay for other brands. With over 4 million jars sold, 1 million happy customers, 8,000 five-star reviews, and a 365-day no-risk guarantee, Native Path is a trusted choice. Plus, they offer an 800 number for any questions about usage, recipes, or ingredients, and you'll speak to a real person ready to help. Join their private Facebook community to share success stories, recipes, and support each other on this journey called life. Visit getnativepathcollagen.com/flyover or click the link in the show notes and start your transformation today. Time for your podcast extra, the flyover stories you'll only hear right here on the podcast. First up, Canada is striking back at U.S. tariffs. In response to recent trade tensions, Canada announced late Friday it will set a quota on certain steel imports and impose a 50% surcharge on anything above that limit. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland said the move is meant to protect Canadian industry from what she called, quote, unjust U.S. tariffs, ratcheting up tensions between the two nations. Meanwhile, the Justice Department under Attorney General Pam Bondi has reportedly dismissed at least 3 federal prosecutors handling cases tied to the January 6th Capitol riot. The abrupt firings have raised questions about the future of those prosecutions. Supporters of the move say it reflects a shift in priorities under the new administration. Critics say it could discourage career DOJ officials from taking on politically sensitive cases in the future. And finally, Rob McElhenney, the creator and star of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, is officially changing his name, according to documents filed in Los Angeles. He'll now go by Rob Mac, a nod to his on-screen nickname and possibly a new branding move. Still to come on the flyover, we're talking sports, a rookie's big introduction, a huge new contract in hockey, and some empty seats at a global soccer tournament. Plus a look at the most clicked stories of the week. It's all just ahead, so stay with us. All right, let's take a spin through some big sports headlines. Kicking things off, the Utah Jazz will hold an introductory press conference today with number 5 overall pick Ace Bailey. Bailey initially wasn't happy about being drafted by Utah and even threatened not to report, but he's now set to join the team. In hockey news, the Florida Panthers have locked in 2025 Stanley Cup Playoffs MVP Sam Bennett with a new 8-year contract worth $64 million. Meanwhile, the Club World Cup is seeing some growing pains in its tournament group stage, with stadiums averaging just over 50% capacity so far. However, select markets like Miami saw packed houses over 80%. So there's hope things could pick up ahead of the 2026 World Cup in the U.S. All right, it's Sunday, so that means it's time for Sunday Rewind, a look back at the most popular stories of the week that had everyone talking. Starting us off, retro futuristic transportation concepts from the 1940s and 50s are making waves online, revealing just how optimistic designers once were about the future of travel. You can check out some of these wild visions with a link in the show notes. Switching gears, Florida is making headlines for a very different reason. It dominated a new list of America's most dangerous beaches, with New Smyrna Beach topping the list as the shark bite capital of the world. Yikes. And wrapping up the rewind, Queen Maxima of the Netherlands turned heads at her country's first NATO summit, upstaging world leaders in a bold lime green jumpsuit. Check out the link in the show notes to see her striking outfit. Still to come on the flyover, we'll dive into some fun quick hits, including a surprising Picasso auction and some talented pups making waves. Plus, we've got your poll results and the answer to today's trivia question, so stick around. All right, here are a few more stories you need to know before we land today's episode. First up, Senate Democrats delayed a procedural vote on President Trump's 940-page Big Beautiful Bill on Saturday, requesting an out loud reading that could stall the process 12 to 15 hours. Meanwhile, Amazon is making a big move into small towns. The company is investing over $4 billion to expand same-day and next-day delivery to more than 4,000 rural towns and small cities, bringing faster service to places that previously had little access. Next up, if you need a pick-me-up, head to the show notes to see the incredible photos from the 28th annual Purina Pro Plan Incredible Dog Challenge in Huntington Beach. From corgis and West Highland Terriers to labs and Dalmatians, dogs of all sizes, even a 13-year-old partially blind and deaf pit bull braved the waves to show off their surfing skills and charm the crowds. And finally, in art news, a collection of never-before-seen Picasso ceramic plates and dishes sold at auction in Geneva for nearly $340,000, far surpassing expectations. The pieces, created between 1947 and 1964 at the Madereau Pottery Workshop in France, had been kept privately for almost 40 years. The auction house said the strong final price shows just how much people still admire Picasso's work in all forms. You can check out photos of these rare ceramics in the show notes. All right, now it's time for your poll results. Remember, you can vote with links in the show notes. All right, yesterday we asked, which do you prefer, window shade up or down on an airplane? Here's how you voted. 67% said up, 19% said don't care, and 14% prefer it down. Now for today's question, which do you prefer to watch, the sunrise or the sunset? Your options are sunrise, sunset, or neither. Okay, one of my absolute favorite things to do at the beach is to see a sunset, but I also love sunrises. It's been a fun family tradition to catch a sunrise together, so I kind of want an option that says both. But if I had to pick just one, it would be sunset. All right, head to the link in the show notes to cast your vote, and Ayla will have the results for you tomorrow. All right, time for today's trivia. Earlier in the show, I asked, what vegetable did Roman soldiers eat before battle for bravery? The answer? Onions. Roman soldiers believed munching on onions would boost their courage and strength. Now, I have a Roman history buff in the family, so we looked into this a little further. Looks like they would often eat the onion raw, like an apple, as a pre-battle ritual. Now, that does take courage. I guess they figured if they didn't scare the enemy with their swords, they could always knock them out with their breath. All right, that's going to do it for your Sunday edition of the Flyover Podcast. Thank you for spending your weekend with me. Now that I do the Feel Good Flyover on Fridays, I actually get an extra day with you each weekend. Ayla will be back with you tomorrow, and I hear she and her son both competed in a 5K this weekend. And from what I saw, one finished third, one got a medal, one had legit marathon attire, and one had the cutest running gait ever. I'll let you take your guesses on which one. And Ayla will have all the details for you on Monday. And you know what? I've got a little challenge for you today. Can you share this podcast with at least one friend? Once you do, let me know in the comments because I'd love to personally thank you. All right, have a great rest of your day. And as always, thanks for flying with us.